Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the channel. We just got back from a beautiful week of NFL Sunday and Monday and Thursday and any other day to decide to play NFL football on. But this week is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. There's a lot of cool games, starting with the Dolphins-Bills game right here, right now on Thursday night on Amazon Prime. I have the Dolphins winning 31-28. Dolphins had a beautiful showing there in the second half against Jacksonville. I know they were down on the ropes there for a little bit, but their defense stepped up, their offense stepped up. I mean, you really get to see the power of this Super Bowl contender. The Bills had a great showing last week as well, but I just think that the Dolphins will prevail in this one. I have it by like 3 points-ish. The spread is -1.5 in favor of Miami because it is at home, and this is pretty much a pick'em game. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great time. Next big game we have. I would have made this game a lot farther. I had Dallas up by at least 10 points in this game before the weekend started. Saints had an amazing showing against the Panthers, blowing them out of the water. I don't know how good the Panthers are going to be. I know they had some rebuilding over the offseason, but they got blown out by the Saints. So I have this game a little bit closer. I think they're going to be within 7, which could be a really close game. I think it's going to be a dogfight. Dallas is going to prevail near the end there because they just have more experience. They have a better quarterback, better a lot of things. But I just think the Saints are trying to rebuild and be better. Last week they showed they had really good talent there on the offensive side of the ball. This next week we have two powerhouses here. I wouldn't call them powerhouses. I'd say the Detroit Lions have been proven to be a powerhouse this last season and coming into this season with an excellent win over the Rams. And the Buccaneers showed an excellent performance against the Commanders. And I think this game is going to be within 7, just like the spread shows here. I'm going to have it 28-21. I think the Lions are going to start the season 2-0. They're going to be at home field advantage. I think they're just going to take control of this game near the mid-halfway point. And the Buccaneers are going to be trying to claw back. I think it's going to be like 28-14. And they're going to score a last-minute touchdown over the Buccaneers. And the Lions are ultimately going to prevail. Next 1 o'clock game, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Indianapolis Colts. Both came off losses, big losses, close games. Green Bay was in it to win it with the Eagles on that Friday night. Colts were playing just slightly under the Texans. The first half for the Colts didn't look too good. But this week, I think the Packers are going to prevail. It's going to be a dogfight, thick and thin, all the way through the end. It's going to be a great game to watch this Sunday in mid-afternoon. This next Sunday game we have is the Jets versus the Titans. The Jets are coming off a very strugglish week 1 against the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers didn't look the greatest, but I think he's just getting the rhythm of things. And I think this next week against the Titans, Aaron Rodgers is going to go off, take control, lead the team to victory against the Titans. The Titans didn't look too good week 1, and I don't think they're going to be able to finish this game out. And Aaron Rodgers is more experienced. He's been in this situation before, starting off 0-1, backs against the wall, counting them out. I think the Jets are going to win this. Next game we have is the Vikings versus 49ers. I don't think the Vikings are able to keep up with the 49ers' explosive offense. Brock Purdy was going crazy yesterday against the Jets. He had over 231 yards passing, and I just don't think the Vikings' defense are going to be able to up the snuff on this one. And their offense is good, but I don't think they'll be able to keep up with the defense of the 49ers. So I have this 35-24. Next game we have is the Patriots versus the Seahawks. Patriots are in the rebuilding stage. They kept up. They held the Bengals to less than 20 points last week. So I think they're going to do it again against the Seahawks. But I don't think they're going to get lucky enough to win this one. The Seahawks, I think, have a better team. They have better quarterback, and usually the Bengals week 1, they're not very good week 1. They always lose, and then they come back later in the season out of nowhere. The Seahawks are going to start the season 2-0, and they're going to do this by 17-14. Next game, we have these two teams, both middle of the road, probably less middle of the road, maybe bottom tier, Giants versus Washington. And both these teams struggled week 1. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game just because their defenses aren't very good, and I think it's going to be very close. And I think that Washington will have the upper hand in this one just for home field advantage. I think they're just going to be able to get a good last-minute field goal. I think it's going to be 24-21. Next game, we have the Panthers. Panthers haven't proven anything to me. The first week, they struggled bad. Got dominated by the Saints. And I think this week, there's going to be about the same. I think the Chargers need to come in, handle business. It's going to be a blowout game. Not very fun to watch. I think it's going to be 35-9 final score. Next Sunday game, I have the Jags coming out on top on this one. Jags were up against the Dolphins. The Dolphins eventually found themselves, and I think they're going to want a redemption arc. Trevor Lawrence is going to want that W, and the Browns struggled week 1, and I think they're going to take that momentum from that week 1 and not get any better. So I have the Jags winning this 28-20 with ease. I think the Jags are going to be in commanding position this entire game, and the Browns are just going to keep trying to crawl out of the big hole they made until they find what actually works. Next game we have is the Ravens versus the Raiders. I have the Ravens coming out on this one. Ravens had a beautiful week 1 against Kansas City. It's just that last minute play, toe on the line. Very unlucky for them, but I think they're a Super Bowl contender team, and I think they're going to come out and dominate this game. 28 plus points. I put 28 as more of like a realistic position, but I definitely think it can get up to 35-42 easily on this Raiders defense. Next Sunday game at 4 o'clock, we have the Cardinals versus the Rams. Both lost their week 1s. The Cardinals need to learn how to finish their games. They were up on the Bills at halftime, and they let the Bills come back and win. I think the Cardinals have something special this year, and I think that's why they're going to win this game, 23-21. The spread has -1. Very flip of the coin, but I do think the Cardinals are edge a win out of this one at home. Next Sunday, 4 o'clock game we have is the Broncos versus the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to take the W on this one. I don't really believe in Bronco Nation. I think the Broncos are going to be struggling all year. They're more of like middle of the road. They're going to be like more like 8-9. They're kind of like 8-9 team middle of the road. I think the Steelers have something to prove this year. Last year, you could see the magic happening over there in Pittsburgh, and I think this is their year to show it. And they're a wild card team. Next Sunday game, we have Kansas City versus the Bengals. Kansas City is going to dominate this game. The Bengals were struggling week 1. Joe Burrow just wasn't looking up to snuff. I do think that they are going to come back later this year with vengeance, but week 2 against Kansas City, it's just not going to happen. Patrick Mahomes is going to run over that Bengals defense. It's like they're not even there. And I think Kansas City start the season 2-0 with a strong offensive performance. Sunday, prime time, 8:20 Eastern. We have the Bears versus the Texans. I'm a Bears believer, but I saw what happened in Caleb Williams. That was a terrible performance by that offense. They were bailed out by special teams and defense. Thus is why I have them losing here today. I just don't think they're consistent enough, and I don't think they're going to be. They have to have a loss. They need some rigor in them, some pep in their step. But I think Texans are going to edge a win out of this one. This is Texans' year. I think Texans are going to be very good this year, and we'll see coming down the next stretch. Last game of the week, Monday night, Falcons versus the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to dominate this game. No offense to the Falcons and all they have, but the Falcons aren't very good. That first week showing was very pitiful. I think the Eagles are going to come and dominate this game 28-10. And that's going to be it for this video. If you like what you see, you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. I do college, I do NFL, I do everything. I play a lot of games, retro, everything and anything. Please like and subscribe. Please follow for more. Peace.